What do you do after you married like 57 women and led a whole congregation to a new country? Start a university, indoctrinate the youth. This week on Drunk Mormon Podcast.
Oh, this is the podcast where we drink with the Mormons, strange and peculiar people they may be. Come hear the stories we were taught in our childhood. Come drink and join our eternal family. Come drink and join our eternal family.
Welcome
to the Drunk Mormon Podcast.
Welcome back.
This is the podcast where we get drunk and talk about people who never get drunk.
The Mormons.
I'm David John Banks, and I was raised Mormon.
I'm Lauren Sackwich, and I've never been Mormon a day in my life.
And we're your hosts.
Hello.
Each week on this podcast, we teach Lauren a little bit more about Mormonism, whether that's stories from the Book of Mormon, stories from Mormon church history, peculiar things that Mormons believe. Mm-hmm. But this week, we are finally going to talk about my alma mater, Brigham Young University.
Ooh!
Brigham Young University, named after Brigham Young, second prophet of the Mormon Church.
What a guy.
I went to school there. I lived there, loved there, survived it, and now I'm here to tell the tale.
Great.
But before we get into any of that...
Let me guess. Business.
We have some business!
We got business.
So the first item of business is I wish Ashley was here for this, but we are both back in Los Angeles. We've been traveling.
Yeah.
I went to Canada for a film shoot, and then I was in Utah for Thanksgiving with my family.
Mm-hmm. And I went to Egypt and then Jordan.
The country.
The country. So I was in Africa and then the Middle East.
And you survived.
I survived. I had a great time.
Good.
I highly recommend going for anybody who's interested in going. You can climb up into the Great Pyramid. I didn't know that was.
What?
Yeah, you can go inside and you have to climb up this incline and then literally like Indiana Jones duck down and then duck walk through this tunnel to get into the main tomb room.
Oh my goodness.
And it was the first thing we did was the pyramid. So I was the only American on the tour and nobody really knew each other that day. And then we get in the pyramids and I couldn't stop just laughing, cackling. People were like, what's wrong? And I was like, this is just like Indiana Jones. Could you just stop for 2 seconds? You're climbing up into the Great Pyramid. How could you not just laugh? Who does that?
I didn't climb in any pyramids, but I did play my first drinking games when I was in Utah.
Ooh, what were they?
I don't remember what they were called. They both involved a deck of cards.
Uh-huh.
So the first one, there was a beer, a canned beer in the middle, and then you went around and drew out cards, and depending on what the card was, that was a different task, a different round, and then when you were done, you had to put your card under the snap top.
Yeah.
So you just keep wedging more and more cards under there, and then I guess when it finally pops the can, that person has to drink it. We got bored of the game before that happened, plus the cards kept popping out.
Yeah. So no one drank the king cup?
So no one, I think someone did, but they just grabbed it and drank it.
They were like, this is my beer
drink.
now.
And then the next one we played, I actually really liked, but again, it uses a deck of cards, and basically there was a dealer, and she went around the circle, and so the first one, she was like, red or black, and you had to guess, and then she would turn it over, and if you were wrong, you had to drink.
Okay.
And that was the first round, and then she would add a card to so you have one card in front of you, and then the next round she says higher or lower. So you have to guess whether the card she's going to turn over is higher or lower than the card you already have.
Ooh, okay.
And if you're wrong, you have to drink. And then the next round, she was like inside or outside. So she's going to turn over a third card, and it's either inside between those two numbers or outside of them.
Oh, okay.
And if you're right or if you're wrong, you have to drink.
Was there a winner?
I don't know if we finished it. We got bored of that one too, and then just went out on the town.
We used to play this drinking game in college, and I went to college in Pennsylvania. The game was called Stump.
Okay.
So very different from your card game. You played by getting a stump, a tree stump.
Like a tree stump?
Mm-hmm. And everybody who is playing gets a nail and you hammer the nail in
No.
to the stump. I swear to God.
Like in your living room, you just drag it through
Usually
something
we'd play
there?
outside,
Oh,
but I
okay.
can think of at least like a couple. I know of at least 2 houses that had one inside. So you hammer the nail into the stump so that they're all the same height. And then you go around the circle. And when it's your turn, you take the hammer, you touch the stump, you flip the hammer, you catch the hammer, and then without readjusting your grip, you bring the hammer down and have to hit somebody else's nail. And if your nail gets hit, you drink. If the nail sparks, everybody drinks. And if you miss, if you're the person with the hammer and you miss a nail, then you drink.
What the fuck?
And the person who wins is the last nail standing.
That's amazing.
It's really fun.
Let's do that one.
I love that game. It's super fun.
Stump.
I feel like for sake of like legality, we should say that the podcast does not condone playing Stump. It's like a dangerous game.
Well, aren't all drinking games dangerous?
I guess.
Drinking is dangerous.
Drink
is
responsibly.
responsibly.
Drink responsibly. Play Stump responsibly.
We also have a correction.
Oh, is it me?
I can't remember who said it.
Who said
and I
it?
can't even remember what it means because all I wrote down were 3 words.
What is it?
I just wrote down fat, not sugar.
Oh no, that's my friend wrote that to me.
Oh, okay.
So when we were on our high episode, I was telling that story about Tim Tams, about when you're super high, you need to eat sugar to counteract it. And my good friend, Andy Dabbs, wrote into me and was like, hey, it's actually fat, not sugar. You eat fat to, like, bring down your high if you're smoking weed.
Oh. And then the other thing that's really important to mention
Yeah.
is, so the thing about November is we were out of town, so we recorded all of our episodes really early so that we would have enough to release. But it's really important for people to know that the Thanksgiving episode was the next episode we had recorded after the Seer Stone episode.
Wait, are we going to talk about...
Yeah.
Yes, okay. I'm really, really glad you brought this up because I've actually been thinking about it, like, probably since I walked in here and I didn't know how to transition. So, we recorded the Seer Stone episode.
We did.
I had a great time. I really, like, forgot what we were talking about because, again, we got stoned.
Yes.
And then...
Before it came out.
We recorded the Thanksgiving episode where I made drinks.
You did.
And then the Seer Stone episode came out. And in the Seer Stone episode, I asked the Seer Stone what cocktail I should make.
Yes, I
and
remember.
then we were like looking and gazing into the Seer Stones. And what I hadn't remembered, but it's on the tape, the podcast, is I say I see apples.
Yeah, it was like a basket of apples.
A basket of apples, yeah. And then the week later, when we were doing the Thanksgiving episode, I made manzaritas, which are apple ritas. They're apple-based. And I totally forgot about it until the Seer Stone episode dropped. And I listened to it, and I texted you and Ashley, and I was like, God friggin' spoke to me. I get that, like, I had said apples the week before, and, like, maybe somewhere that was in the back of my mind for, like, the drink, but, like, I felt so powerful. Like, I, for 2 minutes, was literally like, holy fucking shit, God spoke to me. God told me to, through this rock, God told me to get drunk on apple. Like, the power of being like, my subconscious thoughts are literal God talking to me is, like, really, really intoxicating. That's a very powerful thing to say.
So God talked to you through a rock.
Through a rock. Through this rock in my hand right here.
Yeah, and this is mine in my hand. So yeah, that's probably the biggest business of all, which is like the Seer Stones work.
I'm so glad you brought that up.
If you haven't listened to that episode,
definitely check it out.
Seer Stoned, I think it's like episode 20 something.
We'll fact check that later.
And let's see, what is my Seer Stone telling me right now? Oh, it's telling me that we just placed the order for our Patreon Christmas presents.
Yeah, we did.
Today, I actually placed the order. Because what we said was anyone who is a Patreon subscriber by December 1st, we would send a present for Christmas as a thank you. And we talked about it as a team, and we decided that what felt like the most appropriate yet affordable Christmas gift that wasn't just a sticker would be if we got everybody who is on our Patreon subscription list
Customized shot glasses.
That's right. An exclusive, limited edition Drunk Mormon podcast shot glass. And
I'm so excited for them to come in.
the picture of what it said it would look like looked really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Since we haven't gotten the shipment yet, so we'll see what they actually
I'm
look like.
gonna double down. It's gonna be like a shitty tattoo. I'm gonna love that thing no matter what happens.
Oh, that's the thing. I was thinking about it. I was like, if it turns out really fucked up, that's still on brand.
Very on brand.
It's like a stamp with an error. It just makes it worth more.
Yeah. Is that true?
Yeah, stamp collectors.
Oh.
If there's like a misprint stamp, it's worth like so much more money because it's rarer. Yeah. So make sure to check the stamps on the package when it comes in the mail for errors to maybe add to your stamp collection as well.
Well, I mean, I feel like my seer stone is telling me that it's time to drink.
It is time to drink.
It's time.
And the last released episode, we drank beers as a college experience. And this week we're talking about college. So I feel like we should do another college staple, which is shots. So we're doing tequila shots today.
For the record, we've gotten rid of our designated driver and have chosen to do tequila shots. So,
look,
good thing God is talking to us directly and telling us that this is a good idea.
I had a rough experience at that school, so we need to get ahead of that.
Right.
And I feel like there's no faster way to do it than a bottle of tequila.
Love it.
So, tequila shots are really easy. 3 ingredients if you're going to do them right. 1, tequila. 2, lime wedges. And 3, salt. I think you put like salt on your like hand and then you like lick it off. And then you shoot the tequila and then you use the lime as a chaser. Okay. So we're going to do shots. I picked out the Batman shot glass.
Why, thank you.
And then me, I'm going to use a shot glass that I stole from a bar in Salt Lake City.
That's the one?
So
it's actually really pretty.
I went bar hopping with some friends in Salt Lake City, and I just saw a row of clean shot glasses and thought, I want one of those. And I was drunk. Very drunk. And I just reached past a couple people. Just this arm slides through, grabs one, and then disappears. And I forgot I had stolen it until the next morning when I slept at my friend's place and I was putting on my shoes and I was like, what the hell is this in my shoe? And I dump out this shot glass. And I started laughing really hard because it all came back to me.
May I say Drunk You has excellent taste.
It's the prettiest fucking shot glass.
It's beautiful. I still don't know if I'm ready for this.
So all we have to do is pour. That's enough, right?
I think you should fill it.
That's not being a good friend.
I'm being a great friend. I just want you to reach your full potential. Okay, that's aggressive.
You said full.
Yeah, I didn't mean like literally to the rim.
What else is full?
You're right.
So step 1, you fill your shot glass with tequila. Step 2.
You lick your hand.
You lick it?
It makes the salt stay on it.
Oh, that makes sense.
So you lick like from the knuckle of your thumb to the knuckle of your pointer finger.
I just licked everywhere. I wasn't quite sure if I was doing it right.
And then you pour the salt on. I mean, ooh, that's too much. It's to taste.
Okay, so the salt's stuck to my hand that I licked. The lime is in the same hand, and then the shot glass is in my other hand. So we lick the salt, shoot the tequila, and then bite into the lime.
That's it.
All right. Wait.
To our health.
To our Patreon.
To our Patreon subscribers.
Because we got so many new Patreon subscribers interested in Christmas gifts, I'm guessing, that we now have 41.
Oh my God.
And we're collecting over $100 a month, which means we are halfway to our goal of $200 a month. And guess what happens when we get 200?
The Book of Mormon
We're
musical.
breaking down the Book of Mormon musical. So if you jump on, you can help make that happen. And in the meantime, cheers to Aria, Brianna, Caitlin, Cassie, Courtney, Elaine, Erica, Kelsey, Logan, Livia, McKenna, Megumi, Peggy, Rachel, Renee, Richard, Sierra, Tyson and Liz, Amy, Jared, and Mormon Zodiac.
Ooh! Thank you, guys.
So thank you so much.
Thank you.
We really appreciate you. Cheers to fucking you.
Cheers to you.
Oh, man.
Oh, God. Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
Why do people do that? Oh, you didn't even do your whole shot.
I couldn't. Oh, my God.
Why do people add salt?
It's like, I don't know. Also, I just want to say, congrats to you for downing that whole thing that I forced you to fill the top in one go, where I had to take a pause and break mine up into two.
I couldn't chug a beer, but I can always take a full shot.
All right. I mean, should we just like get down on this train and do a second one right away?
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah. I want to toast to, I just really want to toast to Joseph Smith's presidency.
To Joseph Smith, 2020, may he come back and give us clear vision.
Yes! Cheers!
Cheers to that.
We're gonna be fucked up. Do you remember in middle school or high school where you had to do like the president's challenge at gym? You know, like run a mile and like climb a rope and I don't know what else. I remember really hating it.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I did not do well. And it's like, can the president please do this test?
Is the president gonna run? Because I don't think so.
Not now. Not this president.
Barack Obama probably could have done it. We're here to learn.
We are here to learn.
I'm here to be educated.
I am here to educate. Because I'm educated. And you know where I got my education?
Ooh, BYU.
Brigham Young University.
I like that you say the whole name.
Well, because not everyone's going to know what BYU means. It's not like NYU.
Mm-hmm.
So, Brigham Young University is a college located in Provo, Utah.
Mm-hmm.
And it is owned by the Mormon Church.
Mm-hmm.
There's actually 3 branches of Brigham Young University.
I know this.
There's BYU.
BYU, which is in Provo.
Uh-huh.
There's BYU Idaho.
Yes, which is in Rexburg, Idaho.
Which we've talked about. And then BYU Hawaii?
Yes.
Yeah! BYU Hawaii.
There is a Brigham Young University in Hawaii, and they are considered 3 separate universities.
Okay.
It's not a campus extension. They're their own university.
Oh.
Why I did not go to BYU Hawaii, I do not know.
That was a mistake.
That just seems like the obvious choice.
I imagine it's like I was going to say 90210, but that's not right. It's like Baywatch. It's like Baywatch, but on a college campus.
Yeah.
I feel like we should maybe at this point say that I've seen BYU.
Oh, you have. It's true.
I have.
When we went to Utah for Pioneer Day, we took a day in Provo, and you actually saw BYU campus for yourself, which we will come back to in a few minutes.
Okay.
But first, I think we should talk about how BYU even came to be.
Let's do it.
So, if you remember, the Mormons traveled to Utah.
Yeah.
They
got kicked out of everywhere else.
Quote unquote kicked out. They say unjustly. I say for bad behavior. The same way someone gets kicked out of a bar because they're dancing on top of a table or they're picking fights with everybody.
I feel personally victimized.
Mormons got kicked out of every state they lived in.
They were like,
and so like, fine, we'll go make our own state. And so they traveled out to what is now Salt Lake City in 1847. And they didn't just stay in Salt Lake City. They started to populate and make towns all over, including Provo, Utah, which was initially officially made a town in 1849, only a couple years later.
But it's like 20 minutes from Salt Lake City. It's
40.
pretty close. 40?
40, 45.
I feel like we did it in half an hour.
No, it feels closer because in Los Angeles you drive 45 minutes everywhere you go.
That's true. Okay, but less than an hour from Salt Lake City. Okay.
It's not too far. In 1869, there were a couple brothers named Warren and Willis Dusenberry. which sounds like a fake name, but it's real.
It's real.
Warren and Willis Duesenberry. They started a school in Provo. It was actually the second school they started in Provo, but the first one kind of
tanked
because for financial problems. But the second time they made a school, it actually turned out to be pretty popular.
The Duesenberries.
Yep, those Duesenberry brothers.
Yeah.
And it was so popular that they incorporated the school into the new University of Deseret that was based out of Salt Lake City.
Right, okay.
So,
because I remember everywhere we went was like Deseret, but also a different name. Like the original name was Deseret.
So Deseret is a Book of Mormon word that means honeybee.
Okay. Oh.
And Mormons use the honeybee as a metaphor because it's like everybody's working in the hive.
Yeah.
I find this hysterical after leaving the church because it's like, oh, because you're all drones? Mindlessly serving a queen?
All of the signs, all of the road signs have honeybees on them.
Yeah, it's like the national mascot or logo or something is a beehive. The University of Deseret decided to convert the Duesenberry's second school in Provo into a branch of their campus, and they called it the Timpanogos branch because there's a mountain in Provo called Timpanogos Mountain. 6 years later, by 1875, this branch was so popular it had enrolled over 300 students and was in fact more popular than the actual campus in Salt Lake City.
Okay.
But somehow, despite being so enormously popular, it still closed. But Brigham Young, who owned the property that the school was meeting in and was donating it rent-free, was like, you know what? I have been thinking for a while that I should start my own school named after myself.
Yeah. He named it after himself?
So he...
It's like giving yourself a nickname. Good luck.
He started his own school called the Brigham Young Academy. This school was not named in memoriam of him.
He named it himself. Oh, that's so ballsy.
In 1903, they split the Brigham Young Academy into two different schools. One was Brigham Young High School, and the other was Brigham Young University. So that was then. Now there are over 33,000 students who go there as of 2017.
Also, may I say, like, BYU is one of the prettiest campuses I've ever seen. A lot of money has been poured into that campus.
I believe that. Guess how much it would cost you, Lauren, to go to the Lord's University?
I mean, I want to say it'd be cheap because it's the Lord's University, but I feel like it's not. So I'm going to say it's like $80,000 a semester.
This year I looked it up to see what tuition was. $5,620 a semester.
That's it.
That's it.
That's really inexpensive. Do you get money off if you have like a bishop recommend?
If you are Mormon, if you're a member of the Mormon church, your tithing offsets your tuition, and it's only $2,810.
Oh my god. What?
When I first started at Brigham Young University, I had a half tuition scholarship for $960. $5,000 if you're not Mormon.
$2,000 if you are.
Well, a little less than $3,000 now.
Holy shit.
Some of the other interesting things about BYU, for now 21 years in a row, it has been awarded the most stone cold sober school in the nation, according to the Princeton Review.
Wow.
Yep. It's often ranked as like one of the more attractive schools on campus because they have a very strict dress and grooming.
Yeah.
The other really fun thing about BYU is that it has this honor code, this sort of infamous honor code. And the honor code not only promotes academic integrity, but also a very strict definition of moral integrity, which includes a very specific dress and grooming standards as far as the clothes you are and aren't allowed to wear, how you can and can't keep your hair. They also have strict curfews. You can be out as late as you want, but you cannot be in the apartment of someone of the opposite sex past certain times. You're also not allowed to share apartments or houses with members of the opposite sex. And you're not allowed to have sex in general unless you're married. And you're not allowed to drink. It's stone cold sober, but also that's partly because if you drank, you would possibly be suspended or expelled.
How steadfast to these rules do you think the majority of the BYU population is?
Almost 100%.
No fucking way.
I think most BYU students keep these rules really strictly.
Brigham Young was also the one who owned his own distillery.
Yes.
I just feel like, do you think Brigham Young is looking back at his college and being like, guys, what the fuck? Like...
No, I think he's happy about
it. He had like
it.
37 wives.
50.
That dude was fucking.
He was. Also, I think he was really, really interested in power. And so I think he would be really excited that a college in his name had such power over other people's behavior.
The fuck?
Now, we've been kind of teasing at it, but you and I did go on a tour.
We did.
Of Brigham Young University with my brother.
Yeah.
And so for our activity, I thought it would be fun to revisit the audio we recorded while we did that. Now, it's important to know two things. We knew the drink ahead of time, and we took shots of tequila in the faculty parking lot.
We didn't know the drink ahead of time. We chose to take shots of tequila in the faculty parking lot, and that's why we've taken shots of tequila tonight.
It is true. A few shots of tequila. And so, come with us down memory lane as we roll back the clock to when Lauren and I were on Brigham Young University campus, armed only with a sober Mormon brother of mine and a microphone.
Okay, so we just picked up our special guest
for the BYU tour,
Matthew!
My brother Matt.
Yay!
Yay!
Say hi.
Hi.
Welcome to the podcast, Matt.
Thank you.
We're very excited to have you.
I'm excited to be here.
Okay, now we just have to figure out where we're going to park.
Okay, so we have just parked. We're walking onto BYU campus, and I just touched something. In great drunk Mormon fashion, DJ and I just stealthily did 2 shots in the car.
In the faculty parking lot.
In the faculty parking lot. And now we're going to do this tour with our new friend, or my new friend, DJ's old friend, Matt. Wait, should we do the 2 questions?
Oh,
Let's do them. Okay.
The 2 questions.
Because now you're
the guest
we've
on the
decided
podcast.
you're our official guest for the podcast.
Boom.
So we ask every guest, what's your relationship with Mormonism? And then what's your relationship with alcohol?
Okay, so my relationship with Mormonism is born and raised Mormon, been active all my life, still am active.
You're at the Lord's University.
Yeah, I'm at BYU, pretty much doing all the basic Mormon things, I guess.
Great.
Went on a mission. Yeah.
And you like it.
Yeah, and I like it.
Yeah.
It works for me.
Cool.
Relationship with alcohol. I had non-alcoholic beer once.
Oh, how
what?
was it? Oh,
It was
duels?
gross.
Yeah, non-alcoholic beer is gross. Beer is gross.
What do BYU students do for fun? Like when you're hanging out with your friends, what's a normal Friday night, Saturday night kind of thing?
I don't even really know. Sometimes I'll go to parties, but they're not like the stereotypical college parties. It's much more low key,
Because there's no alcohol, right?
yeah, there's no alcohol.
What are probably some of the good, must-see buildings here? The library.
The Science Center is pretty cool.
Oh,
stuff
yeah.
Cool.
Oh, the Wilkinson Center.
Yeah,
the Fine Arts Building.
Right. Shall we mosey?
We should probably mosey.
Is there a dress code here?
there. Yes, there is.
What is it?
I don't know if you've already talked about the basic standards of Mormon honesty.
No.
You've not. Okay.
Well, because, here's where this is coming from. For our listeners at home, I'm wearing, a tank top, a spaghetti strap tank top, which is kind of what I've been wearing this entire trip. And I've noticed I'm the only person wearing tank tops. And, it's hot. It's, 100 degrees.
It's 90s.
Yeah, so I was just I can't tell if this is something that's in my head or if I'm I feel like people are looking at me.
Yeah. Generally, Mormons don't wear so much like tank tops and stuff in public. They tend to cover up the shoulders more and like not wear super short shorts. Like basically that sort of thing.
Well, it's against the school dress code. So like you can't take a test if you're not dressed modestly.
Okay, so people are looking at me.
But
like, I
also,
feel like we
you
just walked
also-
through that library and people are looking at me. I'm also not wearing a bra, so I feel like that's like, I'm just doubling down.
The other thing, though, is you can't take a test if you have a beard.
What?
And what's on my face?
A beard. Wait, is that true?
It is true. That's actually not like church
That's just BYU.
It's not a church rule. It's a BYU rule.
Okay. Okay, so we're like the odd couple here.
Nice.
Okay, well, so now that I know that, let's continue the tour. And I'll just assume that everyone is looking at me.
I mean, I'm not.
Great. Thank you. Thank you, our only straight Mormon man friend. Thank you.
Well, let's keep this tour moving. Okay, this area we're in right now, what is this called? Brigham Square, right?
Brigham Square.
Sounds about right.
Isn't this Brigham Square?
I actually don't know what everything
Is this Brigham Square? Do you guys go here?
But I mean, we don't know. Oh, okay.
Okay, you're new too.
I'm new too.
And I'm so old I forgot.
We'll figure it out. There's got to be a sign somewhere.
I think there's a Brigham Square.
Yeah, if you go up there, that sign right there, that's how we get everywhere.
Oh, okay.
Fantastic.
That's just like the class buildings.
What do you guys study?
I'm studying mathematics.
Oh,
cool.
Athletic training.
Wow. Very practical. And then this right over here is the BYU bookstore, which is where you're going to find all your swag.
Should we go in now or later?
We can go in now.
I'm gonna get some swag. All right. So for our listeners at home, what has just happened is I went to the BYU bookstore and I bought this super cool retro BYU t-shirt, and now my shoulders are covered, so I feel less weird.
Yeah, I saw the
Let's
beard,
keep
though.
going. Okay, so what's the average age? Like, if most people go on their mission, what's the average age of your student's body here?
Like, so you'd be starting school around 2021, and if it's a 4-year program, then you're saying graduating 24, 25,
Okay.
right?
Yeah, that's about right.
Because that's how old you'll be.
Yep.
No, it's funny because I'm like, it's not that I think we're gonna get in trouble. It's not that I think we're gonna get kicked out. It's not that I think Matthew's gonna get expelled for hanging out with us, doing this. But also, like, I'm just paranoid because I've had some alcohol. And also, like, my entire 8 years at this school, I was paranoid that I was gonna get kicked out, like, every day.
Why?
Sort of, because they kick you out if you're gay.
They do?
Well, you can be gay, but you can't act on it.
So how do you feel now, like, what I assume is your first alcoholic consumption on campus?
I feel great. Did you see that guy turn around and look at us while I was talking about it?
Oh no.
Yeah, this like older guy was walking in front of us. He kind of like turned around and gave us some side eye.
Ooh.
Uh-huh.
Well,
No, he's not a fan of the podcast.
not a fan of the podcast.
Okay, Lauren, what's just happened?
You got a parking ticket.
You can't go to BYU if you don't get a parking ticket. So we just got back to our car and there's a ticket here for $20. What did we do? We parked
But this
overtime.
isn't by the Utah police.
No,
This is by the BYU.
parking.
You parked over the time. You got a 30-minute
Oh,
time.
because we were in 30-minute parking. And we parked there for, I don't know, 2 hours?
Oops.
We should ask Matt before we drop him back off at his apartment
Yeah.
about what he likes about BYU and why he goes here.
Yeah.
I think, I don't know, it depends on like where you're coming from, like your situation, but a lot of times I feel like the environment can be generally pretty positive. People are generally quite nice here. And
Everybody we talked to and ran into was really nice to us.
Very nice.
yeah, like I feel like it's super easy to make friends here, especially with all the social activities that they have. Like, so I like the social aspect. It's like a good quality school. You get a good education here. I mean, there definitely are things about the culture here that are really annoying that we've already discussed. Like, it's not for everyone.
Yeah.
Just, but if it fits, like it fits.
That's great.
Well,
If you do ever want to get a drink, we're in LA.
Okay.
it's true.
I
And
feel like you're a whiskey man.
Thank you for helping today. Thank you
You're
for being
welcome.
our
We really appreciate
guided
it.
tour. Wait, our tour
Yep.
guide.
Nah.
Tomato.
Tomato. All right.
And that was our tour of Brigham Young University.
That was our tour.
And meeting my brother.
Great guy.
Who listens to the podcast and hopefully isn't expelled for being on it.
I had a great day that day. Like...
More or less.
But, like, me personally, like, I have no ties to this university. I have no memories of it. Like, it's a beautiful campus. Our tour guide was great.
But anyway, that was our lesson this week. So, obviously, we would like to thank my brother Matt for...
Thank you, Matthew.
Taking our drunk asses around my alma mater for an entire day and putting up with us. And Lauren, I'd like to thank you for joining me on this triggering return to my college.
I'd like to thank you for touring me around this campus, educating me on the ways of the college, for taking these tequila shots with me.
Yeah. And of course we want to thank our listeners and especially our Patreon subscribers who, praise God, will receive their mail this time.
You're going to get it. You're going to get it.
If you want to be a Patreon subscriber and be eligible for gifts in the future, feel free to find us on patreon.com/drunkmormonpodcast. Please feel free to leave us a review on iTunes. Mm-hmm. We like to read them, and sometimes we read them on the podcast. So
I feel like I've told different people about this podcast, and they've looked it up on iTunes and been like, oh my God, you have a lot of reviews. And like that's a deciding factor. Yeah. So it does help a lot.
Yeah. You can find us on Instagram and Twitter at Drunk Mormon Pod. Mm-hmm. And you can always reach out to us, either slide into our DMs or email us at drunkmormonpodcast@gmail.com if you feel like we got something wrong or we missed something or there's an episode topic you would love to hear more about. But in the meantime, I'm David John Banks.
I'm Lauren Sackwich.
And now we bid unto all
farewell.